Welcome to the Real Deal Smite God reveal, featuring Vulcan, the Roman smith of the gods.
It's said that in this world, a man must either be an anvil or hammer. You're looking at a hammer!
Now I know what you're thinking. Sam, isn't this the same thing Magikarp used Fly does? Yes it is, but he does League of Legends and this is Smite. Therefore it's completely different, so shut the fuck up! Just kidding, I love you guys. So Vulcan is a high AoE damage mage with a playstyle between Hi-Rez and Ziggs from League, who surprisingly enough isn't really seen too much in-game. Why is that? Well, let's find out. Vulcan's passive is Heavy Shot. So whenever Vulcan casts an ability, his next basic attack within 3 seconds will slow the enemy by 20% for 2 seconds, and the passive can't be activated more than once every 5 seconds. As far as passives go on mages, this is pretty useless. As I said, Vulcan is an AoE damage mage, not a basic attack focused one. I could see this working on Freya or Kronos, but not Vulcan. The rest of his kit does nothing for basic attacks, and he's also one of the least mobile gods in the game, so you can't really catch people out with this. Honestly, if you really want to slow people as Vulcan, it'd be better to pick up Gem of Isolation. At least there you get some extra health, mana, and ability power. Well, we're off to a bad start, but let's see if Vulcan can catch up with the rest of his kit. Vulcan's one is Backfire. So Vulcan fires a line shot that pushes him back and dealing 240 plus 80% of Vulcan's magic damage to all enemies it hits. It also applies a target on the first enemy god it hits for 4 seconds, which causes Vulcan's turret to prioritize the target and deal an additional 10% to the target. Plus the cooldown on the ability scales down to 4 seconds from 7 at max rank. This ability is alright. You won't really be using this to lane clear until you hit the late game. You'll mostly be using this to give that power boost to Vulcan's turret. Funny enough, this is also Vulcan's dash, which pushes him only a few feet in the opposite direction you want to be heading for the kill. But if you really are going to use this as a dash, well...
Hold on guys, I'm a-coming. I gotta move as fast as my stubby little legs can carry me yet. Hold on, there we go, I'm a-coming boys.
Yeah, let's just move on. Speaking of Vulcan's turret, his 2 is Inferno Cannon. Vulcan places a turret which fires in a cone area every second, dealing 145 plus 35% of Vulcan's magic damage. The turret will fire continuously until it's destroyed, or Vulcan places another one. Also, the turret will not apply on-hit effects, but will inherit Vulcan's penetrations. The description also mentions that the turret takes an additional 50% damage from non-god sources, but doesn't give a health number for the turret. So, does it have a fixed health number? Does it scale when you level it? Does it gain a percentage of Vulcan's overall health? I don't fucking know. You can't give me one number and not the other half, Hi-Rez. What is this, a MOBA or an algebra class? Shit! I had to go online to the Smite wiki to look up this info, and apparently it has 540 health and 45 protections at max rank. Now I don't mean to be dismissive on the wiki, but how can I be absolutely certain this is the case when there's nothing in-game to confirm this? Honestly, this really is an easy fix for Hi-Rez too. No idea why it's been like this for years, but whatever. Hashtag fix this shit already, Hi-Rez. Jokes aside, this is what makes Vulcan stand out from the other mages in the game. It's because of this ability that makes him the best objective pusher in the game and what makes Vulcan a real lane bully. It's also really good at picking up last hits, so building stacks on Vulcan is a breeze. Plus, since it gains Vulcan's pen and deals extra damage with his 1, Vulcan can just shred through opponents' armor, basically dealing true damage to them. Also, if you have really good timing, you can use the turret to block skill shots, so there's that. The downside is that, unlike Hi-Rez, you can only have one turret out at a time. But on the plus side is that you don't have to be near the turret for it to work. The only thing about the turret is that it doesn't apply on-hit effects, which I don't see why not. I guess so that Vulcan's passive isn't OP, but since it doesn't, the passive is useless. I mean, the only way I can see the passive being useful would be if you went attack speed Vulcan, which isn't a thing. Unless... What the fuck? This shit actually worked? What the fuck is even life anymore? Vulcan's 3 is Magma Bomb. So Vulcan tosses a bomb that, when it lands, causes enemies to take 270 plus 70% of Vulcan's magic damage and knocks them up and away from the blast. What? That's all there is to the ability. It's his crowd control ability used to set up the rest of his kit. What else do you want me to say? Not every ability in this game requires an in-depth guide to explain. Vulcan's ult is Earthshaker. So Vulcan launches a rocket that damages a large area that starts at 60% damage if launched at the minimum range and up to 100% if launched at the maximum distance. The base damage of the ult deals 880 plus 130% of Vulcan's magic damage. Now as far as ults go, this does sound broken, but the problem with it is that there's currently too much counterplay in Smite for this to be reliable. The first problem is that the ult's airtime is stupid long. Like, your opponent can call back to base, buy his items, come back and punch your face in before it lands. And if that wasn't enough, the AoE circle is easy to dodge out of since it gives a huge warning sign to everyone where it will land. And on top of that, there's always Sanctuary, which everyone always fucking gets whenever I play Vulcan. Seriously, fuck all y'all asses. So in reality, you will be using this ult as an emergency lane clear or objective stealing more often than picking off enemy gods. Although when the planets do align and you kill a god with this ult, man, you'll wish you recorded that play so you can jerk off to it later because it feels so goddamn good. So with that all out of the way, is Vulcan good? Well, the answer is yes, but there is an asterisk next to the yes. Vulcan is the highest damaging mage in the game and can easily outtrade all the other mages in the game. However, when compared to those same gods, he's already down a passive and half an ult. Plus, he does require getting fed a bit to really start shining, and Vulcan is more high risk, meh reward playstyle. Don't get me wrong, a fed Vulcan is scary, but when compared to a fed Anubis or Raijin, yeah, not really. You could argue that Kronos is like Vulcan, being down a passive and half an ult, and he's the top tier god in the game, but Kronos' kit has better synergy than Vulcan's, hence why Vulcan isn't rated as high. On top of that, since Vulcan has no real mobility, he's pretty easy to catch out, and because of that does require a fair amount of skill to use effectively. Or you could just get sprint with beads or sanctuary, that works too. So if you do play Vulcan, you better get good with him quick or you're gonna get shit on hard. But if you are good, you will have a fun time with him. Plus he has the best kill taunts in the game.
You remind me of my wife. Beautiful, loving, and completely untrustworthy. First of all, you're not wearing any armor. It's a dress. You have no breastplate, no greaves, no shield, no weapon. I could go on forever. Just all wrong. And what is with the rabbit? Who brings a rabbit to battle?
Well, hope you know how to be a better Vulcan player and you have as much fun with Vulcan as I do, cause trust me, I know how to have a lot of fun with Vulcan.
Oh, you boy, look how fast I'm swinging this hammer. Oh shit, son, I'm gonna get you now. Yeah, boy.